No father should have to lose his son. It goes against the natural order of things. Without our sons, we have no future. I've spent my life fighting stupidity and cowardice for a better world, where good people can prosper and thrive without fear. I know the cost. I see it every day, and I accept it. But I can't accept this. Will's tragedy can't be for nothing. I'll make sure of that. This is not where it ends. This is where it begins. I checked in on Mitchell today. Gideon's kicking his ass, but he'll get there. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and that same determination that Will had. I can see why they were close. The Marines, in their infinite wisdom, deemed him unfit for duty. Can't fight with one arm. Never tell a soldier what he can't do. If anyone deserves a second chance, it's guys like Mitchell. Give me an army of men like him, and there's nothing Atlas can't do. Lagos. If there were a better example of government ineptitude, I haven't seen it. The KVA walked in like they owned the place, like it was their right to take whatever they wanted. Helpless, the officials come to me. They came shocked that a few well-armed men can bring a nation so great, so powerful, to its knees. What sort of men are they? They ask. I tell them they are simply men who are willing to do whatever it takes to achieve their goals, without emotion, without bias. And once you understand this most basic of facts, you have everything you need. Above-ground nuclear power facilities have been a tactical hazard since their inception. In 2048, Atlas submitted a lengthy report to the Defense Department on the security risks. I guess they didn't like the findings, because they buried the report. I think they gave us the security contract just to shut us up. But that's not why I accepted the job. I took the contract because Atlas would give the taxpayer the best return on their buck. We spent millions on concrete reinforcements. We build anti-aircraft defenses, but our greatest achievement? Eliminating human error. You can build your defenses as strong as you like, but the human race is the weakest link in any system. When an attack does come, and I have no doubt it will, then mark my words, it will be because someone has left the door unlocked. You can't protect what you can't control. Leaders lead. Success or failure comes down to the choices we make. Capturing Dr. Danois and bringing him to justice would be a decisive step forward in the hunt for Hades, but what purpose does it serve to prosecute this man for his crimes if we can use him to prevent future crimes against humanity? Hundreds, maybe thousands, have been killed by this man's experiments, but what if the results could one day benefit humanity and save lives? Is it wrong to put that knowledge to use, regardless of how it was obtained? It's only right that we respect the dead. What better way to honor them than give meaning to their demise? Scientific data exists outside any moral framework. It's a resource that can be exploited for good or bad. The choice is ours. But to choose to do nothing with it is no choice at all. It is to accept that innocent people died for nothing. A mission of this scale is a serious endeavor in the best of circumstances. Operating in the middle of a busy tourist destination is, without doubt, extremely risky. But the risk is the key to our success. Hades has gambled on our humanity. No government can survive the public outcry if hundreds of innocent tourists are killed in a botched mission. Hades knows this. But we're not the government, and our power does not come from popular mandate. The government could have stopped us, the United Nations could have stopped us, but they didn't. Why? Because they think I've stepped into my own trap. They've seen what Atlas can do, and they know how powerful Atlas has become. They're afraid, more afraid of me than they are of Hades. And with the KVA on the run, who is left to disrupt their status quo? They look at us, and instead of seeing our success, they see a threat. Someone too powerful to control, too powerful to stop. And so they've gambled on our failure, and they're right to be afraid. Failure is not an option for us. As long as we deliver Hades' head on a stick, no one will want to stop us. They'll want to follow us. If you want to sell people on your vision, show them. They call this part of the world the cradle of civilization. For 10,000 years, it was the center of trade and culture, home to kings, caliphates, despots, and dictators. The first images of war I ever saw came from this place. 2 wars in 2 decades with nothing much to show for it. I saw how wars quickly became quagmires, if not prosecuted effectively. If ever there was somewhere that represented the utter failure of governance, Baghdad was it. While our leaders left this place to its fate, I took this as an opportunity to seize our destiny. 50 years of rot, and we rebuild it in 5. Now, New Baghdad is more than just a thriving city. It's a symbol of what's to come.
Everybody thinks their ideas are right. That's why the people you call terrorists call themselves freedom fighters. The fundamentalists think they're right, the capitalists think they're right, the communists think they're right. And no one will ever convince anyone of anything. And all these honorable men lecturing the world from the floors of Congresses and parliaments whose time has long since passed refuse to admit, publicly at least, ideas don't determine who's right. Power determines who's right. And I have the power, so I'm right.
On days like these, it's hard to remember what progress looks like. Billions of dollars, years of research. The human body is not a machine that we can simply rebuild. Tissue damage takes time to heal. Cells take time to grow. We are mortal creatures, and time is never our friend. We've successfully accelerated the growth process, but the cells are unable to sustain themselves after a certain period. Nevertheless, Danois continues to be a valuable asset. Without Danois, Manticore would have died at the developmental stage.